Nothing interesting happens until this point. I've moved up to this area. I get a lot of beastmen on this map. And the terrain is not good for fighting or kiting in. Notice that I immediately go for the banner there. It's more important than anything else. Even with my insta-kills, the fact is I can still cleave beastmen and it's massively reducing my damage while regenning them. I see the Packmaster. I know I don't have enough time to do a charged attack, so I don't try to do that. I might get hit. So I end up just dodging and spamming lights because it's safer. He's still alive though, so I have to stay aware of him. I'm not staying over in that corner to deal with the banner. I'm staying over here, pulling back to let the Packmaster come to me. Fortunately, he dies to the bomb after it. Okay, this is just more horde fighting. This is a little bit awkward here, so what I end up doing is ulting and just trying to kill bulk of them with killing shot. That way I'll be able to push to the banner. But more end up coming, so that doesn't work. I end up going around to reach the banner. Okay. This is when I get my next horde. There's a Blightstormer and I don't see him immediately, so I just ignore it and keep pushing forward. Though if I'd been more observant, I could have seen him through the fence on the other side. I use my ult here because there's a few elites and some horde, and I want to make sure I can get out of this area into the more open one. I don't go for the ammo immediately because I can always come back for it, and I'm freely spam on that Blightstormer. I don't melee this leech because there's just no safety. There's no way I could actually get to him in melee. I might get hit by a Gore running attack. Going for this banner is a good play, but it's also very risky. I almost get trapped. Now I just have a horde, banner, and Wargore, and not really too much else to worry about, so I can kind of just light spam. I end up kiting over here because I want to get the ammo, and because I feel more confident since I know the horde is all coming from in front of me. I end up pulling back further because it's beastmen and they have a lot of mass and it's Deathwish, so I can't really hold against them. Again, I'm just doing a lot of light attacks because it's very risky to be using charged attacks against beastmen, just because they're so much faster than the other factions. This is when I get my next horde. I've gotten a bit of distance, so it's not too bad. Pace was decent. I ulted at a poor time there. I should have waited for all the storm vermin to get together so I could kill multiple of them. But as you can see, they weren't within reach. I see that conk pot and I'm just going to use it because of how powerful that is. It gives me multiple fervencies and to make up for my mistake. I still wait a little bit blocking, just because I don't have it immediately. I know there's also healing next to me, so I can take some risks. I also know there's a strength pot. This is generally a good area to fight in because you've got your wall, your back to a wall, and it's very secure, but you can get trapped here, so make sure you have the stamina game. I would not have come to this spot if it had been a Beastman horde. I'm only doing it because it was Skaven, and you could get away with it with Chaos. With a Beastman horde, I would want to kite much more. I can't actually reach the gas rat in that moment, so I decide to shoot him. Because him throwing a globe could mess me up really badly in this tight, confined space. I know there's an assassin, but since it's Skaven I can just hold here. If the assassin pops up anywhere, I'll have a clear line of sight on him. Like that. Unfortunately I miss my shots, but I'm not in any immediate danger, so I don't change what I'm doing. I'm loitering around here, which I shouldn't be because I'm worried about the assassin. Fortunately, he does come out on his own, and I'm able to just kill him. I should have used my melee there. I was wasting ammunition. There is a Beastman patrol down there. I'm also waiting for them to pass. Using the ammunition on the Packmaster just then was understandable simply because it was a very narrow area, but I could have simply pulled back, where I would have more space to dodge. Interestingly enough, the patrol here has a very generous aggro angle. As you see, I was quite close really, and they didn't get aggroed. This is my next horde, Beastmen. They're archers. I know I have infinite ammo, so I'm just going to shoot them. They can be very annoying, so they need to be dead now. The stagger can mess you up immensely. I'm going to hold over here because I want that ammo. It's dangerous though because this is Beastman, not the Skaven Horde. As you can see, I end up taking hits. I don't have a lot of time to take those shots, even with this very high attack speed build. I know there's ammo here, so I'm no longer too concerned about sticking to the ammo box. I went over here to also protect myself from the archers. I did not realize that assassin was there. And in hindsight, it was bad to go there because the specials have direct line of sight. It would have been better to just stay in the corner or just drop down here normally, instead of trying to stubbornly hold near the ammo in the first place. It's a Beastman Horde. I end up trying the same tactic, which is again risky, because a Packmaster could just come around the corner. Even with the speed pod, this is dangerous. This is the next Horde, again, more Beastmen. See the banner, I'm going to go immediately for it. I kill the Wargore first, and for some reason that destroys the banner. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Maybe it's some weird cleave interaction. I see this potion over here, which I'd noticed earlier, and I decide, well, I'm going to use it, it's Beastman, I need the extra damage. Again, I'm keeping my concentration potion and using the strength mod because the concentration potion is more valuable and I want it for the end event. Note how I take care of that Blightstormer there. I dodge to the left and then shoot. I don't try to shoot him through the gauze and such. I want to hold down here, but I notice the banner and there's no way for to reach him, so I try to go up these steps and I get out of here as quickly as possible because I do not want to get stuck in those steps. I'm going to try to move outside of the radius of this banner to get it to move and also deal some DPS. I don't want to hold up there because they can climb up behind me, as you just saw they did. I want to get rid of this Besticle first because he's stopping my cleave. I see the banner and know I'm going to have to do something about that, so I try to move over to it and break it. I end up ulting because there's a fair bit in front of me and I just want to get it all killed. Because I have my back to somewhere where a special could come from, I get another Horde. I'm going over here to get ammo. I'm going to hold over here because it's a surprisingly decent area, despite the weird terrain. But keep in mind it's very easy to drop down here, which can be good if you do it on purpose, but it's also easy to do on accident. I ult because I have my back to a wall and I actually want to be in this area, and I need to get these things killed. I can kind of handle just the Beastman Horde on its own, but with Besticles mixed in, it's very dangerous. I get more, and there's a banner somewhere, and I don't know where it is, so I go out here. I see the barrel, so I'm going to destroy it to get some free DPS, but I make a critical error here that could have been very bad. So what I should have done is just destroyed the barrel, and kept looking at the Horde, but I turned my back to them, so I don't get Eternal Guard, I don't get the Rapier's BCR. It was very dangerous. I'm coming back up here as a kite loop. I don't want to stay down there because there's absolutely no way for me to deal with the banners. I use Fervency even though the banner's up because killing shot will bypass the health increase. That wouldn't be too useful against the Horde, but against Besticles who I don't cleave anyway, it is. I can't quite reach the banner, so I end up purposefully dropping down. I know the banner won't move even if I'm down here unless I actually get out of its radius, so I just keep going. I'm going to try to stay here for a little bit and get more damage. It's going to be too much for me though. So I'm going to end up having to push up, or just kill everything here with killing shot, which isn't realistic. Killing this Blightstormer was very good, because he could mess me up a lot in this area with lots of narrow paths. Not easy to escape. I don't want to go straight into this area just yet while those disablers are up, because I didn't know what was in here. I'm now at this next area and I'm pulling mobs because a boss can trigger here. And that's very bad for me because this is a difficult area to fight a boss in. I end up having to drop because a banner appears behind me. I know there's an assassin and I want to get him dead, so I spam brace. I miss my shots, but I'm able to get him eventually. I see the barrel as an opportunity for free DPS, and realise that I'm, luckily, have not gotten the boss trigger, so I'm able to just keep pushing. However, note that could have been very dangerous, because I didn't actually know what was up ahead. With a build like this, sometimes you have no choice but to push. But if your build can hold, it's better to hold. I'm using Vermintide to get rid of all these elites because there's quite a few and I was on low health, so I wanted the burst of temp HP. I used my concentration potion simply because the terrain here is quite rough and I don't have any nice comfortable hold spots. I end up using the bomb for DPS instead, because there was a very good clump of them. It doesn't kill any of them, but they're all severely weakened now, which is more important. Especially with a build like this, I can very easily chip them away. I get rid of the banner, and then disengage at the last moment. I make sure to use the pistol shot, aiming for headshots, especially on the Wargore, because his head is unarmored, so it does a lot of damage to him. As you can see, I'm getting trapped here, so I end up dropping down, even though that interrupts the kite loop a bit, and puts me further back in the map. Staying aware of what you can do and where you can drop is very important. This warp fire throw wasn't immediately dangerous to me, so what I ended up doing was just getting away from the horde first, then taking the shot when it was safe. I'm holding here for now because I was worried about getting another horde, but the timer was so long that I end up just pushing. I hear 2 assassins, so I use the concentration potion because I have a bunch of elites on me. There's a concentration over there, and I'm just in a lot of danger right now. There's not actually too much on me. If I had played this better and just held in that area and killed these things, I probably would have been fine. But I end up having to kite very heavily. Going into this spot was a bad decision. I should have just kept going backwards. But I dodge to the right of the storm vermin and keep going right, not realizing what I'm doing. I do make it out of here, but it was a very bad idea to go here. I could climb the ladders, but there's a lot of risk associated with that. Luckily, the assassin climbs down in a great spot for me to just shoot him. I go back to pick up this other concentration potion. Now it's just some horde DPS. However, there's a lot. Taking those free pistol shots, because I can do them while they're blocking, and they actually do decent damage if you headshot, and they can trigger killing shot. Right now I'm just trying to get an opportunity to heal, so I end up using the concentration potion instead. I figure there's a whole lot on me, and I just want to get it clear so I can get to the final event, where I don't actually really necessarily need the concentration potion. I see these ratlings and handle them immediately because they are way more dangerous to me than the horde, specifically because they're blocking where I could go. I end up failing at that and having to deal with the horde this way. I'm going after where the ratling will be and the banner. Fortunately, it's not at a good angle for me to shoot him, so I end up having to keep doing this. And this is the second horde, so I've actually taken this long, which is bad. And now I have no other items besides a healing item I can't use immediately. So I'm basically on my own at this point. Fortunately, the special pressure is quite generous now. I don't get too much more. After the horde, I decide to just push. I'm going to push all the way to the final. I don't want to fight another horde, especially not in this area, because it's very narrow. Assassins can easily jump at you from the end of these tunnels. I see the banner and I just ult and I can deal with it very easily. Even on Deathwish, the stagger is still useful. I get the ammo, I ignore the storm vermin, they're not worth it. I just need to get up here. If I can drop down, I can clear these things before starting the event. I don't need to heal because I have plenty of temp HP and my temp will be fine. I come up here because I want to handle the enemies somewhere where I can just drop safely away from them. I don't do this very well though. You see how I didn't actually get many hits in? It's because I immediately dropped. Instead of going up that ladder, I messed up in my movement and wasn't able to fight them in that next area, so I have to skip to this one. I'm making sure not to accidentally hit any of the chains, because I could easily start the event. What you really want to do is time the dodges and jumps properly, so you don't end up going into the... I think it's acid, I'm not sure, to prevent you from being slowed down. At this point, I actually got another horde, which I didn't realize could happen at the time. I'm just waiting to clear absolutely everything before I start this event, because there is a lot. I also got here twice already and died to the event, so I wasn't going to take any risks. I know there's an assassin somewhere, and that definitely puts me off. Fortunately, he just comes to me. In some areas, assassins and other assassins specifically will never actually come to you. Right now, I'm just going around looking for supplies and trying to make sure I clear everything. I know there's an assassin, so I really don't want to start the event yet. But this is bad, and I should start it despite this, because my temp HP is decaying. And if I hold in this area, the assassin's not going to come consistently. So I end up moving, trying to bait him, but it doesn't work. I end up having to fight another beastman horde, dragging out what is already a quite long event. So what I should have done was just started and accepted the fact that I was going to have an assassin, or moved out of this area and tried to actually bait him. I get very lucky here. I don't even see him coming, and I had no idea he was here. As you can see, I did a light attack just at the right moment, the actual start of the event. It has some pretty exaggerated kiting, but it is pretty simple. It's mainly precision based in terms of your movement. You just have to time your jumps well and you will be fine, because you don't have to fight these enemies head on for the most part. And you really shouldn't, because the terrain just sucks. Just light spamming because it's safe and I know I can kill these things easily with killing shot, and Rapier's light attacks do enough base damage, or enough headshot damage. I dropped this way, which is weird, but fine. I need to not stay here, but I'm trying to do this out of stubbornness. I end up moving at the last moment, which was good. Now I'm going to come up here and go to the end and wait for them. I'm not going to break that chain yet. I want to clear this entire section first. I know there was some coming from my right, so I didn't want to stay up here. Not for long. I probably could have stayed up longer though. I'm now moved over here to the next area. I'm going to fight a little bit head on, because I have room to back up in, so I can just keep chipping away and attacking. I'm going to ult here. Fortunately, I don't successfully get rid of the shields, which is my plan. I end up dropping here because I don't want to back up into the chain and accidentally break it. That would be very bad. You don't even have to break it, just a few hits will trigger the next part of the event. And it will just stack up. Unfortunately, because I failed to be actually killing these Stormvenom shields as I was fighting, I've got tons of them now. And this is really bad, because until I've got my ult, I basically can't do anything besides light attacks, and it's going to take a very long time to kill them. If I had been chipping away properly, making sure to focus them while killing everything else, I wouldn't have so many of them right now, and they would be much more manageable. I go over here to finish breaking this chain so I don't have to worry about it later. That doesn't trigger another wave or anything like that though. It's only when you reach about, I think it's 2/3 of the chain's durability. I'm going to start this one now, and it's basically more of the same. I know there's stuff coming from the right, so I'm not going to stay up here very long. Even though I could get DPS on those guys on the left, it's more important that I survive this. I'm going this way to go over up here because it's a very nice spot to drop, and it keeps everything tidy. Also because there's no risk I'll break any chains I don't want to break. Fortunately, this is mainly just halberd storm vermin and things I can kill with killing shot. I mess up the fall there a little bit and end up not being able to go to that ladder, so I have to just do this. I bomb to buy myself some time because I had a brief window of opportunity to get in there. I'm playing very defensively. There's a lot of storm vermin, and at this point I could be one shot. I'm biding time to use my ult. And I know I can just kill everything here with killing shot. I drop, finding a good time to heal. I'm careful here because I don't want to hit that chain. This causes them to climb. It's a nice little raise in the elevation. I finished breaking this chain, and again it doesn't summon another horde. I've got 2 more now. I end up going for the one down bottom first, and then going up to the top. What I would have wanted to do, should have done, is just gone for the one on top first so I didn't have to worry about breaking it at any point. A really key thing here is to not stay up for too long. You can take as long as you like while kiting, as long as you're not getting trapped. But if you stay up on those platforms for too long, you will get surrounded and you will die. I'm using Bop here a little bit because I'm not confident and I don't have any other healing. And I'm also in a health threshold where I could be one shot. I'm staying up here, getting cornered, specifically because I know I'll have my ult soon, I have a bomb, and it's not too many dangerous immediate threats like plague monks who could just kill me instantly. This is the start of the final chain. I come over to this side because I feel more comfortable fighting the horde here. I know I can just immediately drop into a very safe area with no acid. Whereas if I was on the other side, I could easily drop into the acid, slow myself down, and get caught by something. I was biding time there because I wasn't sure if the horde wave had actually finished or bugged out, but it turns out it had. So I really just wasted my temp HP. You won't have to make that same mistake. Even though there seemed to be nothing in that final composition, that was the end of it. I know a bunch of stuff is going to come from that gate, so I'm not going to go there immediately, yet. Especially when I still have specials to deal with, and I'm on low health. I ult, because this is a very risky situation for me. I could be one shot, so I want to make some temp HP easily and immediately and safely. I don't have much ammunition, so I'm not going to bother with killing the Globadier. I drop down here to buy myself time against this horde, because there's tons of shields, and it's difficult to fight them head on. I'm slowly killing the horde, because there's no real pressure at this point. More things will come, but that's it. There'll just be more hordes, in a very open area, with no acid or anything to stop you. You can fall down in the pit in the middle, but that's it. I'm unfortunate that this is a Beastman horde, but at the same time it means there's no shields, so I will be able to kill it quickly. I used my ammo on the Warpfire Thrower because he could block my view, and I could very easily get killed by this Beastman horde in a matter of moments. Wasn't really the best play though, I should have just taken the risk. Ignored it and gone up the steps, then dropped down and killed it while it was coming up the steps. I know there's an assassin, so I'm staying up here. I'm making sure to look slightly down, just in case the assassin climbs up the steps, and he's hidden by the horde. I move down since there's not too much horde left. I see the Packmaster and I just want him to be dead. I'm not confident, but I could have meleeed him. Fortunately for me, this assassin bugs out. He still leaps at me, but I'm able to kill him easily. Now I'm going to leave. I just go straight out at this point because I don't get a horde. A Bessigor is coming from behind me, but I can just dodge him at the last moment. There was no immediate attacks like overheads that I had to be worried about not blocking, and I had high health. Again, same deal with this Bestigor. I just take the hit, it's lazy, but it's fine. There are archers, and it's going to be irritating, but I'm just going to go straight for the exit at this point. There's very little stopping me. And that's it.